Alara, a young woman living in a quiet town on the edge of a vast, ancient forest, had always felt out of place. Her life was ordinary, but her heart yearned for something more. One fateful evening, as she attended a grand masquerade ball, she met a man who would change her life forever. His name was Asher, a tall and enigmatic figure with piercing eyes that seemed to glow in the dim light. Despite his aloofness, Alara felt an undeniable pull toward him. As the night wore on, they danced, shared whispered conversations, and for the first time, Alara felt truly alive. But there was something about him, an air of mystery that she couldn't shake. When the evening ended, Asher vanished into the night without a trace, leaving Alara with only the memory of their fleeting connection. Yet, she couldn't stop thinking about him, and fate seemed determined to bring them together again. Over the next few weeks, Alara and Asher's paths crossed repeatedly. He seemed to appear when she least expected it, always just when she needed him. With each encounter, their bond deepened, and despite the growing sense of unease in her heart, Alara found herself falling for him. But as their relationship blossomed, strange things began to happen to Alara. She noticed herself growing pale, her senses heightened, and a strange craving for blood that she couldn't control. She tried to dismiss it as a coincidence, but the hunger became more intense, and soon she couldn't deny the truth, something was changing within her. One night, as the craving for blood overwhelmed her, Alara went to the forest to gather her thoughts. As she wandered deeper, she collapsed, overwhelmed by the transformation. Suddenly, she felt a cold presence beside her. It was Asher. He knelt beside her, his face drawn with worry. "Alara, you need to stop this. You're becoming like me." Confused and frightened, Alara demanded to know what he meant. With a heavy heart, Asher finally revealed the truth. He was a vampire prince, born of darkness and eternal life. His world was one of shadows, danger, and blood. He had fallen in love with her to protect her from that world, but his presence had inadvertently begun to change her. "Alara, I never wanted you to suffer this fate. I thought I could keep you safe, but now I've put you in danger," Asher said, his voice tinged with regret. Asher's confession left Alara torn between love and fear. The thought of becoming a vampire, of losing her humanity, terrified her. Yet, her love for Asher and the strange pull toward him only intensified. She struggled with the changes in her body, the craving for blood, the sharpening of her senses, the coldness that seemed to seep into her very bones. As the days passed, she withdrew from everyone she knew, hiding in her home as she grappled with her growing fear. Asher visited her often, but he kept his distance, knowing the danger his presence brought. In the silence of her loneliness, Alara began to wonder, was she truly becoming a vampire? Was there a way to stop the transformation before it was too late? The more Alara's transformation progressed, the more she felt herself slipping away from her old life. The fear of becoming a creature of darkness consumed her, but so did her love for Asher. He was the only one who understood her, the only one who made her feel alive in a way she never had before. In a moment of clarity, Alara realized she had a choice. She could give in to the darkness and become like Asher, or she could fight it, rejecting the vampire world that had claimed her body. But either choice would require sacrifice, sacrificing a part of herself for love or letting go of Asher to preserve her humanity. In the final moments of her struggle, Asher appeared before her, his face full of sorrow. "Alara, I never wanted this for you. If you choose to be with me, you will never be the same. You will live forever in darkness." But Alara, looking into his eyes, knew her heart was set. "I would rather be with you in the dark than live without you in the light," she whispered. With a desperate kiss, Alara made her choice. She embraced the darkness, and with it, the eternal love of the vampire prince. The transformation was painful, but in the end, she became something new, a creature of both light and dark, human and vampire. As the years passed, Alara and Asher ruled over the vampire realm together. Their love, though forged in the shadows, had become a light of its own, shining brighter than any curse. They created a world where vampires and humans could coexist, showing that love could transcend even the darkest of curses. Their child, born of both human and vampire blood, grew into a symbol of unity between the two worlds, proof that love could survive, even when it seemed impossible. Moral of the story: true love can conquer even the deepest fears, and the greatest sacrifice is the willingness to embrace the darkness for the one you love.